I always knew my parents preferred my younger sister, Emily. The golden child, the favorite, the sunshine of the family. Whatever she wanted, she got, whether it was the last slice of cake, the newest phone, or the kind of attention I used to dream of. But never, not even in my worst nightmares, did I imagine they would skip my wedding, just because I dared to get married before their perfect princess. My fiancé, Daniel, had proposed to me after 4 beautiful years together. I remember calling my mom, voice shaking with excitement, expecting her to scream with joy. Instead, she went silent for a long pause that felt like a cold blade pressing against my chest. Then she said, "Oh, that's surprising. Are you sure you're ready for something like marriage?" I laughed nervously, trying to brush off the weird tone. "Yes, Mom, I'm ready. We're happy. Emily isn't even engaged yet," she said sharply, as if I had committed a crime. "You two were supposed to wait for each other. We talked about this." "No, Mom," I whispered. "You talked about it." She hung up shortly after, telling me she needed time to think. Time to think about what? Whether to be happy for her daughter. Over the next few weeks, I tried to keep them included, sending venue ideas, dress pictures, even asking my dad to walk me down the aisle. Every message was met with coldness. Slowly, painfully, I realized they were angry. Angry that I dared to move forward before Emily. Angry that I didn't wait for their golden girl to get her fairy tale first. Emily didn't help. She called me once, pretending to sound concerned, but the smugness in her voice was impossible to ignore. "You're making things awkward, you know," she said. "Mom and Dad aren't ready for this. Maybe you should postpone my wedding, for her." That was the first time I snapped. "Emily, this is my life. I'm not putting it on hold for you." She gasped dramatically, as if I had slapped her. Wow, so selfish. The irony was unbelievable. The day of the wedding came. I still held onto a tiny bit of hope, like a stupid, wounded child, that they would walk through the door at the last moment, smiling, crying, telling me they loved me. But they didn't. Their seats stayed empty. I tried to stay strong during the ceremony, but every time I looked at the empty chairs labeled Mom and Dad, my stomach twisted. After the reception, my aunt approached me with a grim look. "Sweetheart, I didn't want to tell you today, but I think you should know." My heart dropped. "Know what? Your parents flew out this morning with Emily. A weekend spa vacation. They didn't want to waste time at a wedding they didn't approve of." I felt something inside me shatter. Not crack, shatter. They hadn't forgotten. They hadn't been sick. They hadn't been stuck in traffic. They had chosen not to come. That night, I cried harder than I ever had in my life. Daniel held me and whispered, "You didn't lose anything today. They lost you." But the truth was, it still hurt. Deeply. Betrayal from strangers is painful, but betrayal from parents is torture. Months passed. I tried to move on. Tried to bury the hurt under work, under new routines, under Daniel's constant love. But the wound lingered, until one afternoon, everything changed. My mom called me out of nowhere. Not to apologize. Not to reconcile. But to brag. "We have wonderful news," she chirped. "Emily is engaged. And this time, we're planning something grand. A real wedding." My jaw tightened. "Congratulations. We want you to help," she continued as if nothing had ever happened. "You knew how to organize your wedding so well. Maybe you can help plan hers too. Oh, and we expect you to come early and stay for a few weeks. Emily needs support." Something inside me turned cold, calm, terrifying. "My wedding didn't get a single blessing from you," I said quietly. "Not even your presence." "That was different," she said dismissively. "Your wedding was rushed." "No," I said. "It wasn't rushed. You were just angry I didn't wait for Emily." Silence. Then she said the line I'll never forget. "Well, you should have waited. Family comes first. Family. Family comes first." Where was that energy when I needed them? That was the moment the revenge began, not planned out, not plotted, but rising from the ashes of hurt and humiliation. A week later, my dad texted me, "Your mother and I want you to pay for part of Emily's wedding. We're not in the best financial state right now." I froze. Financial state. Funny, because 3 months earlier, my aunt told me they spent thousands taking Emily to resorts, spas, and even a shopping trip to New York. They had money. They just didn't want to spend it on me. That night, Daniel looked at me with a knowing expression. "You're done being their backup plan, right?" I nodded slowly. But done wasn't enough anymore. If they wanted Emily's perfect wedding, if they wanted help, if they wanted support, they were about to get something. But not what they were expecting. My revenge wasn't going to be loud. It wasn't going to be dramatic. It was going to be quiet, clean, devastating, and absolutely deserved. And it started the moment I learned a secret about their finances, a secret they never wanted me to know. A secret that gave me power. Deadly power. Found out about their secret by pure accident. One evening, Daniel and I were having dinner when I got a call from my parents' bank. Apparently, they had listed me as an emergency contact years ago and forgotten to remove my number. The representative was trying to reach my dad about a loan renewal. A big loan. Are you still the secondary contact on Mr. and Mrs. Lawson's account? The woman asked. Yes, I answered, confused. We just need to confirm if he wants to extend his home equity loan. It's overdue. I froze. Home equity loan. Yes, ma'am. They took out a large loan against their house. It seems they're struggling with payments. My mind started racing. They had told the entire family they were financially stable. They said they were saving for Emily's future wedding. They had pretended everything was perfect, while secretly drowning in debt. And now they wanted me to pay for Emily's wedding. A slow, cold fire built inside me. Thank you for letting me know, I said, hanging up. Daniel stared at me. What's going on? They're broke, I whispered. Deeply broke. And if they miss more payments, they could lose their house. He blinked. The same house they refused to let you visit for years. The same. Something clicked in me. Revenge wasn't just possible, it was right there, wide open, waiting to be taken. Over the next few days, my parents bombarded me with messages. When can you send the money? Emily's cake deposit is due. You're her sister, you should at least contribute. The audacity. Then my mother sent a long voice note pretending to cry about stress and pressure. I played it for Daniel, who laughed bitterly. She really thinks you're still the same girl who begged for their approval. I wasn't. I had changed the moment they didn't show up at my wedding. The next time my mom called, her tone had changed dramatically. Honey, we're worried. You've been distant. Just busy, I replied calmly. We need the money by the 5th. Emily already chose the venue. I'm not contributing, I said. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Then she hissed, don't be ridiculous. This is your sister. You skipped my wedding, I said quietly. Remember, we explained that. You didn't explain anything, I corrected. You went on a vacation with Emily. She made a frustrated noise. Can you stop living in the past? Emily needs this wedding. She's waited her whole life. And I waited my whole life for you to act like parents. Then I hung up. That was step 1 of revenge. Letting them panic. Step 2 was even better. A week later, I got a call from Emily. So, Mom says you're refusing to help. Are you really that jealous? I laughed. Loudly. Jealous of what, Emily? Of me being the favorite, she said confidently. You're not the favorite, I snapped. You're the distraction. They pour everything into you so they don't have to face their failures. She went silent. They raised you to believe the world owes you everything, I continued. But guess what? The world doesn't. You're just trying to ruin my wedding. She shouted. No, I said calmly. Your wedding is going to ruin itself. I hung up. Step 3. Let the truth breathe. Within days, my parents realized I wasn't bluffing. They started guilt-tripping me in the family group chat. Your sister is crying every day. We raised you better than this. You owe us. That last one made me laugh out loud. I owed them nothing. Meanwhile, I quietly made a legal inquiry. I remembered an old family secret. Years ago, when I was in college, my father had put my name as a secondary guarantor on one of their early loans. Just as a formality, he had said. I had forgotten about it, until now. I called the bank to check if my name was still attached. To my shock, it was. Legally, I had the right to request certain information, just enough to give me leverage. And leverage was exactly what I wanted. I discovered a crucial detail. If they defaulted on the new loan, they wouldn't just lose the house. They would be forced to liquidate certain assets first. Assets that included the wedding fund they had saved for Emily. $30,000 sitting in a joint account. Enough to destroy her dream wedding. Daniel stared at me as I pieced everything together. Are you going to tell them? No, I said with a slow smile. I'm going to let them tell themselves. So I did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And for the first time in my life, doing nothing was powerful. A week before Emily's wedding invitations were supposed to be printed, chaos hit. My mother called, screaming. Why didn't you tell us about the loan requirements? The bank said you asked questions, they flagged our account. I kept my voice perfectly calm. I didn't do anything. I just checked what I signed for. You made them review our case. she yelled. Now they froze the wedding fund until we clear the missed payments. I gasped dramatically. Oh no, that sounds awful. Do something, she shouted. I already did something, I replied. What? I got married without needing your approval. She went silent, completely silent. Then she whispered, You're punishing us. No, I said softly. I'm letting life punish you. Then I hung up. The next day, I got a text from Emily. I hate you. You ruined my wedding. I didn't reply, because the truth was simple. They didn't ruin my wedding. I didn't ruin hers. They ruined themselves. And I was just finally letting it happen. But revenge wasn't over yet. Not even close. Because something even bigger was coming, something they never saw coming, something that would make them regret ever choosing Emily over me. And it all started with one document. One signature. And one decision that would change everything. The document that changed everything arrived in my mailbox 2 days later. A single envelope from the bank, thick, official, and heavier than it should have been. When I opened it, my eyes widened. It was confirmation that as a secondary guarantor, I had a legal right to withdraw my name from my parents' loan agreement. At first, this didn't seem like much. Until I read the line that followed. In the event a secondary guarantor withdraws, the loan must be reassessed financially, and all guarantors must requalify. Meaning, my parents, already drowning in debt, would have to reapply for the loan alone. And given their financial state, they would fail. Which meant their house, the house they worshipped, protected, bragged about, would be in immediate danger. I sat there for a long time, the paper trembling slightly in my hand. Was this too far? Was this revenge or cruelty? Daniel put his hand on mine. They didn't hesitate to hurt you. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just taking back your life. He was right. This wasn't revenge anymore. This was justice. I signed the withdrawal form and mailed it back. And then, I waited. It didn't take long. 3 days later, chaos erupted. My father called me at 6 a.m., his voice shaking with rage and fear. What did you do? I rubbed my eyes lazily. Dad, everything okay? Don't play stupid, he roared. The bank is reviewing our loan because you withdrew. We might lose the house. Why would you do this to us? To us, I repeated softly. Or to you. He went silent. You put my name on your loan without my consent, I reminded him. You used me when it benefited you. You ignored me when I needed you. You didn't come to my wedding. But now you expect me to save your house. He whispered, We're your parents. And I was your daughter, I said quietly. But that didn't matter to you. He tried to speak again, but I ended the call. An hour later, my mother texted me a long paragraph blaming me for everything. You're tearing this family apart. Emily's wedding is ruined. We raised you, fed you, gave you everything. You're ungrateful. Your sister is devastated. I read every word without feeling an ounce of guilt. Because suddenly, I realized something powerful. I had been living my whole life trying to earn love from people who were never planning to give it. The bank officially froze their accounts. The wedding fund vanished overnight, redirected toward their overdue payments. Emily's grand wedding plans collapsed instantly. The next day, Emily showed up at my house. No invitation, no courtesy, just pure storm. She pounded on the door until Daniel opened it. She shoved past him and stood in front of me, her eyes red and wild. How could you do this to me? She screamed. My wedding is ruined. I remained calm. It's not ruined. You can still get married. Just, without the princess lifestyle. She pointed a trembling finger at me. You did this out of jealousy. No, I said. I did this because of justice. You're sick, she hissed. You've always hated me. I laughed. Emily, I never hated you. I hated the way they used you to hurt me. I hated being invisible while you were the sun. She froze. You aren't the villain, I continued. You just grew up believing the world revolves around you. That's not your fault, but it's not my job to keep feeding that illusion. For the first time in her life, Emily had no comeback. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the frame shook. Days passed. My parents' calls slowed. Their texts became pathetic. Please help us. We're going to lose everything. Emily's blaming us. Can't you forgive us? Forgive. Forgive skipping my wedding. Forgive choosing Emily over me every time. Forgive using my name for debt. Forgive manipulating me for money. No, forgiveness isn't free. It must be earned. The loan process moved forward without my name, and as expected, my parents failed requalification. Their income wasn't enough. Their credit was poor. Their debt was massive. The bank gave them 2 options. Sell the house voluntarily, or risk foreclosure. They chose to sell. The day the for sale sign went up, my mother sent me a single text. I hope you're happy now. And for the first time ever, I really was. A few weeks after the sale, something unexpected happened. My mom called, not with anger, not with guilt-tripping, but with a quiet, broken voice. "We're moving into an apartment," she said softly. "It's small. We'll manage." I stayed silent. Then she whispered something I never thought I would hear. "I'm sorry. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't enough. But it was a start. I hope you learn from this," I said gently. "You can't play favorites forever. Love doesn't work that way." She cried. "I don't want to lose you. You lost me the day you chose Emily over my wedding," I said. "But you can earn me back." Slowly, she sobbed harder. "Tell me how." "By treating me like a daughter," I said. Not an afterthought. She promised she would try. I didn't know if she meant it. People don't change overnight. But I knew one thing. For the first time, I wasn't chasing their love anymore. I wasn't begging to be seen. I wasn't sacrificing my happiness for approval that would never come. I was free. And Emily, she rescheduled her wedding. A cheap, simple ceremony this time. She didn't invite me. I didn't mind. Daniel held me close one night and whispered, "You didn't ruin anything. You saved yourself." And he was right. My parents' house was gone. Emily's princess wedding was gone. Their illusion of control, gone. All that remained was truth. And finally, for the first time in my life, that was enough.